Hello friends, I'm your host Ed Santos, and this is Let's Talk Holy Eucharist, the show where every week I have the privilege to sit down with one of our amazing priests or deacons, and maybe even a few surprise guests, to talk about the questions you sent in on topics such as Catholicism, or our diocese, or maybe even our church practices. It is our hope that through these talks, we may be better able to grow in our faith and fellowship. So what do you say? Grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea, and let's talk Holy Eucharist. This week, I have the privilege to sit and talk with quite possibly one of the most important people in our parish, most especially for our families with children who have attended or are attending religious education classes in preparation for the sacraments of First Holy Communion and Confirmation. Thanks to her unyielding support and leadership over the years, she and her staff of administrators and volunteers have ushered hundreds of our children through preparation and celebration of these important sacraments. It brings me great joy to welcome our amazing parish catechetical leader, Mrs. Dolores Otterstein. Mrs. Otterstein, welcome and thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Santos. That was quite an acclamation.
And I meant every word of it.
Thank you.
Now, before we get into today's questions, I would like to take this opportunity to publicly express my appreciation and that of all of our families here at Holy Eucharist Parish for all you have done, not just for our children, but for us adults as well. In this constantly distracted world in which we live in, it is easy to lose sight of the importance of passing on our faith to our children, as it is primarily the responsibility of the family to ensure, and only to be supplemented by the religious education classes. And over the years, having had the opportunity to work with you at times, as well as seeing my own 3 beautiful daughters participate in CCD, of which my last little one will be doing her confirmation in about a year.
Oh, I can't believe that.
It has been an absolute honor for me. So in case you don't hear it enough, thank you.
You're very welcome. It is really my pleasure to do this. I love being with the children. I don't consider this a job. It's a ministry, a passion. I just love it. So
and it shows.
I really enjoy it. Thank you.
It really shows. So to discuss the topic while we're here today, now no one and no place is yet immune to the effects and impact of the current pandemic. And as we have seen in schools, all grades, all locations, but specifically here in our area, schools have had to resort to remote learning. Religious education here at Holy Eucharist Parish, and I assume all over the diocese, has had to assess, reassess, and essentially reimagine ways to safely and effectively move forward in continuing to provide quality religious education. Today, how about we discuss the important efforts you and your team have undertaken to safely and effectively begin religious education classes this year? Yeah?
Yes. Well, I have met repeatedly with the diocese, who has been a wonderful support to us in exploring all the avenues for religious education and how we should proceed. And that has really come down to remote, doing a remote program. Thank the Lord, there was one already in progress. One of the publishers already had that in action, so we were able to buy into that. The same program, the same publisher that we're currently using, but with some online access. So that is what we're going to be doing this year, and well, for the foreseeable future anyway, until we can all be together safely.
So that leads us into the actual first question for today, and the question that we received is, considering how the Cherry Hill School District has dealt with the current effects of COVID-19 by starting this school year as an all-remote learning program, how is Holy Eucharist Parish religious education planning to work through this challenge? And you already mentioned a
Yes.
remote process, right?
Yes, we are going to do a remote process where we are going to help the families. We're having the parents are going to come and pick up their children's books. They'll also have access via Sadler to a portal on their website where the parents can go and get extra information. Our teachers we are so blessed in our parish to have all the wonderful volunteers that we have. I mean, I couldn't do what I do without them. So, and they've all volunteered to do this, whether they have done it before or not. So we're, on an adventure together. But anyway, we're going to help them. The teachers are going to meet with the children, hopefully via Google Classroom. We're having some technical glitches, but we'll get by. And the teachers are going to meet maybe 15 to 30 minutes a week with the children online. I know a lot of our parents are concerned about screen time and all like that, so we took that all into consideration. And they're going to go on, they're going to pray with the kids. They're hopefully keeping the children and the families connected to our parish while we can't all be together safely.
And you alluded into the next question too, with screen time. Our second question today is, understanding the concerns that many parents have with the amount of screen time their children are having to engage in these days, how much more time can they expect with CCD?
Right, and that will be between 15 and 30 minutes a week. It's kind of designed like a homeschool program where the parents can do the book work with the children ahead of the scheduled meeting. So if the children already have that under their belt, so to speak, and are prepared, then there would be no reason for the classes to last longer than 30 minutes.
And that's once a week? Yes?
Yeah, and once a week, yes.
Okay.
So for grades 1 through 4, it'll be Tuesdays at 6 o'clock, and for grades 5 through 8 will be Wednesdays, both at 6 o'clock. So I tried to do it where we went midstream for what we would have as regular sessions here. So, not at 4:30, not at 7. I thought maybe that would be a good time for the kids. They would be able to get their homework done and then have a little time after they were done religious ed to unwind before they have to go to bed for their next day. And then I understand that Cherry Hill is going to change things up again in November, where they're going to go back to a hybrid program. We are not quite ready for that yet, hybrid or any in-person instruction at this time. We'll go with the diocese and the direction of the bishop, Bishop Sullivan.
And you've given me yet again another great segue into our third question. As circumstances change and guidance from the diocese and health experts continue to evolve, will religious education reassess its plan at any point?
I believe we will. We just want to really make sure that it is safe to do this. Some of our classrooms are not huge, and with social distancing, that will significantly cut down the number of students that we can have in a classroom. So yes, we'll have to reevaluate religious ed until all the restrictions are lifted. Hopefully very soon.
Now, this isn't one of the questions that we received, but something that came to mind for me just now. Have we heard anything from the diocese as related to confirmation for this year?
We did have to cancel confirmation for the spring. We are hearing some activity from the bishop's office, and they are doing a lot of small parishes right now. But they're only giving the parishes about 2 weeks notice before confirmation. And, with specific instructions and all as to how many people we can have. And so, confirmation is probably going to be different this year. First Holy Communion was very different this year.
Right.
So, which we had to cancel everything in the spring, and everything now will happen, I guess, in the fall and winter. But I'm sure that will depend upon where the numbers and all are with the CDC. The bishop, thank God, has taken this very seriously, and is really paying very close attention. So we'll see where confirmation leads us, and what I know we'll need more than one confirmation.
Right, much like we did with First Holy Communion.
Yes, I said to Father, it will probably be very similar to First Holy Communion if we want their families to be able to attend with them. So, which is what we would like to do.
Right. I mean, this year for First Holy Communion, we had 4 masses. Is that correct?
4 masses, yes.
4 masses, and that's because based on the number of children we had and spacing requirements inside the church, right?
Yes. Yeah, and that took us a long time to put together that seating chart to make sure that there was enough room, social distancing. The team here who put that together did an excellent job, and I used their schematics for the church to seat the children and know how many pews we had available, how many kids we could fit in safely. And we did, and it was, not like it's been in the past, but the children received First Communion, and I think this year the focus was more about receiving Jesus in the Eucharist than it was about anything else, the parties, the whatever, because I don't think a lot of people were having parties after
Right,
First
sure.
Holy Communion. So it's nice to see the refocus on the sacrament.
Absolutely. So moving on to our next and final question for today. It's just pretty much a catch-all. I just wanted to know if there is anything else you think important for our families to know.
I think it's important for our families to know that we are here for you. We are praying for you. And most of all, we want to stay connected to you. And right now, the only way we can do that is, via social media, email, live streams, recordings like this. Ed, I think this is great because this way everybody gets to, see everybody. I cannot wait for everybody to come back and we are able to be together. I think last night I had a meeting with the parents, and I think it really hit me last night that this is really not, this is really happening. The kids are not coming back, soon. So, I will miss not seeing you all. So, yeah. And that's what I would like them to know.
Sure.
So, we'll miss not seeing them here.
Right,
Yeah.
sure, absolutely. And with that, we've come to the end of this week's episode. I want to thank you once again, Mrs. Otterstein, for joining me today and answering the questions from our parish family.
You are very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Join us next week as we answer more questions provided by you. Please keep them coming so that we may continue to share in our journey to a better understanding of our faith and love of Christ. Until next time, always remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I. God bless.